It had been 42 days since the breakup. Layla wasn't counting, but also she was. Every night she stared at the ceiling, asking herself, how did I end up here? The silence in her apartment felt louder than her thoughts. She used to be full of fire, creative, bright, ambitious. She had supported her ex in building his business, designed his logo, ran his socials, even wrote his pitch decks. But when she brought up her own dreams, he changed the subject, again and again. When he left, she told her friends she was fine. It wasn't meant to be, but alone she spiraled. Music made her cry. Food had no taste. Her notebook collected dust. She wasn't just heartbroken. She was disconnected from herself. One evening, she opened YouTube and saw a video titled, "You're not heartbroken. You're being redirected." She clicked. A calm voice said, "This pain isn't the end. It's your beginning." Layla didn't cry, but something in her cracked open. That night, she grabbed her old sketch pad. On the first page, she wrote, "I'm not done." It wasn't a business plan. It wasn't a life goal, but it was a start. A sentence, a spark. The next morning, she made coffee and opened Canva. She created a logo, a color palette, and typed a name, New Muse Studio. Her own brand, her own rules, her own dream. A week later, she got a message from a boutique. "Hey, are you taking clients?" She stared at the screen, heartbeat racing. She typed, "Yes, I'd love to." And with that, Layla's rise began. Layla's first real client paid her $200. She stared at the notification like it was a miracle. It wasn't just money, it was proof. Proof that she could make a living doing what she loved. Proof that her ideas mattered. And most of all, proof that she didn't need him to feel valuable. She used part of that payment to buy a second-hand MacBook, and the rest to open a business account. New Muse Studio now had an official name, a logo, and a bank balance. It wasn't much, but it was hers. For the first time in her life, she felt like she was building something with her own name on it. She designed her website from scratch, posted before and after transformations, and started sharing branding tips. The messages began slowly, then suddenly. "Hi, I love your style. Do you take clients? How much is a full package?" Layla said yes to all of them, even when she was terrified. Some days, she worked until 2 a.m. Other days, she questioned if it would last. But she never quit. She wrote affirmations on her bathroom mirror. "I am the woman I used to dream of." Her apartment stayed messy. Her coffee stayed cold, but her heart felt alive again. She stopped checking her ex's Instagram, stopped replaying old conversations. When he texted one night, "I'm proud of you," she didn't reply. She didn't need closure from him. Her success was her answer. Her glow-up wasn't for him. It was for the version of herself that once felt unworthy. Months later, Layla stood on a stage at a local women in business event. Her hand shook, holding the mic. But she spoke about failure, fear, and finally choosing herself. In the audience, women nodded. Some cried. One came up after and whispered, "Your story gave me the courage to leave too." That night, Layla walked home in heels that hurt and a heart that didn't. She lit a candle, poured wine into a chipped glass, and opened her email. Another offer, another client, another dream she never thought possible. She smiled and said out loud, "I'm not rebuilding, I'm becoming." Layla's days now had rhythm. Mornings with coffee and planning, afternoons packed with client calls and design work, Evenings filled with ideas scribbled on napkins, sticky notes, and the backs of receipts. New Muse Studio wasn't just growing, it was evolving. She hired her first assistant, a college student named Zara, hungry to learn and full of creativity. Layla taught her branding while learning leadership herself. It felt surreal. She had once cried on that same couch, and now she was mentoring someone else. Her apartment changed too, slowly. A new plant here, a vision board there. Her desk, once cluttered with takeout boxes, now held client folders and color swatches. She no longer lived in survival mode. Her space reflected her becoming. One day, a popular YouTuber posted a video using her designs. Layla wasn't tagged, but she recognized her work instantly. She smiled. A few hours later, her inbox exploded. Bookings, collabs, podcast invites. Her brand was no longer a secret. It was spreading, organically. She traveled for the first time since the breakup, booked a ticket to Lisbon, and spent her mornings in cafes sketching, packaging concepts. Her clients didn't care where she was. They just wanted her magic. Layla laughed under the sun and felt free. Her ex messaged again. "I still think about you." She read it without emotion, not out of bitterness, but because it no longer mattered. She no longer craved his apology. She had become the version of herself she always needed. That was enough. One night, sitting on her balcony with a blanket over her shoulders, she opened a journal entry she had written months ago. It said, "I hope one day this pain makes sense." Layla smiled softly and whispered, "It does." And for the first time in a long time, she felt full of peace, full of purpose, full of herself, in the best way.